The Crew Motorfest is nearly 3 years old this year. After the season update they always do, we have a lot of brand new features to the game. For example, the Hoonigan team update, they're adding the Gymkhana features to the game. And in Season 5, we have a brand new island expansion, which is the Maui Island, and the map looks beautiful. And then in Season 6, we have a Red Bull update, which they adding like a Red Bull theme park that you can mess around, and some map improvements, or maybe quality of life improvements. Or maybe some weird features in a weird team update, just like the Donk versus Lowrider update. Yeah. However, we also missing a lot of features from the previous Crew games, because for some reason there's a couple of features that we have in the Crew 2 but it's not available in the Crew Motorfest, or maybe this feature is available in the Crew 1 but it's not available in the Crew 2 or maybe in the Crew Motorfest. And yet this feature is actually quite important, especially for the player base of the game. So in this video we're gonna talk about the missing features that we really need them back in the Crew Motorfest, or maybe in the future the Crew games. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Number 1, I think this is one of the most obvious one, because a lot of people in the community really requesting these features to return, which is the proper PvP mode, ranked mode, or the private lobbies. We are here reaching like year 2 phase of the Crew Motorfest, or maybe we're already in Season 6, but it's pretty disappointing that we only have like 2 different PvP game modes, which is the Gran race, and the Demo Royale, which no one's even bothered to play Demo Royale. I know a lot of people are really demanding to have like a proper PvP mode in the Crew Motorfest, because in the previous The Crew titles we have a PvP mode and a ranked mode, like in the Crew 1 and the Crew 2. So basically you can make your own private lobbies, fill up with a bunch of your friends with 8 people on it, and then you can just race in a specific track. So this thing will be helpful for the competitive scene of the Crew Motorfest, because yeah, PvP in the Crew 2 is actually really fun if you're playing with friends, or maybe just playing it with some other people like randos. So basically you race in some certain tracks and you have to choose the tracks by voting, and the events with highest votes will be the event that you will race with. For example, like this one, I don't know why a lot of people voting for the bike events, but actually the bike in the Crew 2 handles really good and really nice to drive. So that's why a lot of people are really enjoying, you know, the Crew 2 bike handling, and they really want to use bikes in the Crew 2. And so basically after the race, no matter which position you finish, you will get ranked up or maybe down ranked. Yeah, because PvP racing in the Crew 2 is so much fun. You can have like a street racing playlist, over playlist, and then there's like a different type of vehicles playlist, and also a demo derby playlist. So yeah, so there's like a progress to it. Like there is a bronze rank, silver rank, gold rank, and also platinum. And each different rank, they have like a tier system, like platinum 4, and then bronze 3, silver 2, or maybe gold 1. So I guess this is why like the competitive players really want to have like a proper PvP mode with ranked system, because there is something that you can do to basically sweating the lobby with the other people. So it's actually gonna make sense, because I know back in like, I don't know, a couple of months ago in the Crew community Discord, someone just teased this. Do you want to have like a private lobbies or just like a private PvP mode like in the Crew 2? And a lot of people are really agreeing with it. So Ivory Tower, where is proper PvP mode and ranked mode? Bring it back. Number 2, customization. So the first one is the license plates. Yes, back in the Crew 1, we actually have a license plate customization. So you can have like a different license plate. Also, I remember there's like a Ubisoft special license plate in the Crew 1, like Assassin's Creed games. I think there's also like a Splinter Cell license plate available in the Crew 1. And also you can choose like a different states license plate, for example, the California, Louisiana, and also New Jersey, and etc. However, you cannot make your own custom license plates in the Crew 1. It's not like in the Need for Speed games. For example, we can just like choose the custom plates that we want for each cars. But in the Crew 1, sadly, we cannot. We can just only pick the license plates that is available in the game. The other forgotten customization option that is only available in the Crew 1, just like the custom license plate, is this, the wheels material. So back in like the Crew 1, we actually have a lot of like rims material, like chrome, and then gold, and this one, the white matte rims material. I don't understand why Ivory Tower doesn't bring the matte rims material back to the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest, because in the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest, if you're using like the custom rims, they only have the chrome wheels material. So if you paint them like red color, black color, or green color, it looks so shit. Yeah, because how chromey it is, and it's really distracting. Like even in other cars, just like in the stock cars, for example, they have like a proper gloss or matte wheels material. So I don't understand why IVT don't add this rims material back into the Crew 2 or the Crew Motorfest. Yeah, it's pretty weird. The other missing customization features that we didn't have in the Crew Motorfest is the custom iridescent paint option. So yeah, in the Crew Motorfest, you can only choose the preset iridescent material color. So it's only like this color, red color, and other stuff. However, in the Crew 2, you can actually make your own iridescent paint with the fine-tune option. And we didn't have the custom fine-tune paint option in the Crew Motorfest for the iridescent paint material. I still don't get it why, because this is basically one of the simple things that the developers can add them back, but they forgot. So if you want to have a vehicles with using a special iridescent custom paint in the Crew Motorfest, you have to make them in the Crew 2. Yeah, I'm not joking. You have to play the Crew 2, make the colors there, and get the vehicles to be transferred to the Crew Motorfest. But yeah, if you really want to get the paint to be transferred, don't buy the vehicles in the Crew Motorfest yet. So you have to buy them in the Crew 2 and then paint the car as you like. So here's the example on how to get your special iridescent paint to be transferred from the Crew 2 to the Crew Motorfest. So you go to the color customization, go to the iridescent color option, and as you can see here, you can see fine-tune option, and we didn't have this fine-tune option or features in the Crew Motorfest. You have to buy the color first, and then you can basically fine-tuning them or making your own custom paint. So okay, I already bought the iridescent color option, so I can make my own special paint. I think I'm gonna make it, oh yes, I like this one. I'm probably gonna switch to green. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a special color that I actually need in the Crew Motorfest. So if you already make your own custom paint in the Crew 2, this car, and with your special custom paint, it should be transferred to the Crew Motorfest. So let me boot up the Crew Motorfest. Okay, let me find my Lamborghini Gallardo. Oh, look at that! Yes, my special paint from the Crew 2 is transferred to the Crew Motorfest. So make sure you don't buy the vehicles yet in the Crew Motorfest. And you have to buy the cars from the Crew 2, use the special paint option, and get them transferred to the Crew Motorfest. So yeah. And yep, it also worked for planes and boats as well, to use this special color customization back in the Crew 2. And it get transferred to Motorfest. So basically, remember, don't buy the vehicles yet in Motorfest, buy them in Crew 2, paint them with your special colors you like, and then transfer them to Motorfest. Number 4, missing vehicles. There is numerous vehicles that we seen in the previous Crew games, but it didn't even return in the Crew Motorfest. For example, this car is missing from the Crew Motorfest and the Crew 2, but appears in the Crew 1, and also this vehicles is appeared in the Crew 2, and it got leaked somewhere in the Crew Motorfest, but it didn't return in the game. One of the most example that a lot of people really requesting this car to be returned in the Crew Motorfest or maybe the future Crew games is this, the Subaru BRZ. And yes, we actually have a Subaru BRZ in the Crew 1, and I think Subaru BRZ has like a drift spec, rally spec, and I think a road spec. So yeah, it would be really nice to see like a rally Subaru BRZ or drift Subaru BRZ in the Crew Motorfest. But I think it's a bit pointless to get the street version of the Subaru BRZ because we already have the Toyota GR86 in Street 1. But I don't know, man. I really need to see Subaru return to the Crew Motorfest, or maybe future Crew games, or just adding a brand new Subaru cars. For example, the Subaru Impreza, or maybe the Subaru 22B, which is everyone's favorite Subaru cars. And what baffles me, that the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest is the only modern racing games that doesn't have a Subaru license in the game. So Forza Horizon has a Subaru license and they have the brand new Subaru WRX, and then Need for Speed Unbound, in their last update in Volume 9, they actually have a Subaru Impreza GC8, which is my favorite generation Subaru Impreza. And even an indie racing game called JDM Japanese Drift Master has a license for a Subaru cars. Like they have the brand new Subaru BRZ, and then the old Subaru BRZ, and also the Subaru Impreza. Yeah, it's really weird that the Crew Motorfest and the Crew 2 is the only modern racing game that doesn't have a Subaru cars. I'm guessing Ivory Tower and Subaru has a conflict when they try to renewing, the licensing contract. That's my guess. And they pissing off Subaru too much, I guess. And the other cars that we seen in the Crew 1 and it didn't even return to the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest is the Dodge Ram SRT10. This is one of my favorite performance pickup truck. And it will be really nice to see the Ram SRT10 in Street 1. I think the Ram SRT10 is also exists in like racing class. I remember there's a racing spec, a monster truck spec, and a rally raid spec. So yeah, it would be really cool to see the Dodge Ram return, but I think it's really complicated to get the license because Dodge, Ram, and SRT are splitting. And in the Crew 1, we actually had the roof street spec. For example, the roof CTR3 and the roof 3400K, which in the Crew 2 and Motorfest only appears as a drift and dragster spec. But it will be nice to see the street version of the roof to return in the Crew Motorfest or maybe future Crew games. I guess they have an agreement that they don't want to compete roof with Porsche, but other than that, we can actually race a rough and a Porsche for rally raid class. Yeah, I think Ivory Tower done a fucked up with this one. So yeah, there's a Porsche rally raid which is the 959. I think because there's no equivalent for like a rough 959, I think they allowed it, I guess. Because yeah, the Dodge Ram, Subaru BRZ, and couple of roof street spec is already leaked in the in-game files for the Crew 2. And the other missing vehicles that we didn't have in the Crew Motorfest is the Jetsprints and the Hovercrafts. Jetsprints and Hovercraft are probably my favorite boats to drive in the Crew 2. Because I don't know, sometimes the event can be really irritating, but if you just drove it, it's really fun to drive the Jetsprint and Hovercraft. And I think it's like back in Season 2, the Jetsprints leaked in the game. If you own all the cars or all the vehicles in the Crew Motorfest, they will suggest you to buy a Jetsprint. And if you try to buy the Jetsprint, the game will crash. So basically, Jetsprint is already in the game files for the Crew Motorfest, but sadly the developers doesn't want to add a Jetsprint again in the Crew Motorfest. I think there's also missing bikes that we didn't have in the Crew Motorfest, and a missing boats, but I forgot which one it is. Maybe I will cover it in a different video. In number 5, we have Race Creator. This is also one of the most requested features by the Crew community, because we already have these Race Creator features since the Crew 1, and then it returns in the Crew 2, but we haven't got this in the Crew Motorfest. So basically, in Race Creator, we can make our own event with our own design routes. So back in like the Crew 1, it's called like Free Drive Challenge. So we can basically make our own routes and just place the checkpoint whenever we want. You can put it on asphalt, off-road, and then set the finish line somewhere on the map. And you can make like a 200 kilometers race on free drive challenges. And yes, you can play it with your friends with any vehicles you want. For example, you can use monster trucks, hypercars, bikes, or maybe dragster. You can do that in the Crew 1. However, in the Crew 2, it's called Race Creator. It's one of the, late in-game content, because This is also one of the most requested features back in the Crew 2, and they brought it back in Season 9. It's nearly at the end of the life cycle for the game. Because yeah, the Crew Motorfest is nearly released and they just adding the race creator back to the Crew 2. Yeah, in the Crew 2 is a bit different because you can just like make your own routes, and then you can choose your time of day. I think you can also choose enable collision, enable traffic. So I think it's more detailed with the race creator featured in the Crew 2. The big difference of the race creator in the Crew 2 and the Crew 1, you can only choose one vehicle category or one vehicle class for your created events. So for example, I really want to make this Long Beach Grand Prix route in the Crew 2. I can only use touring car or maybe hypercar, Alpha GP, but I can only use one vehicle category per race event. But for the Crew Motorfest, sadly we haven't got a race creator yet. I just hope they adding it really quickly, because I know they probably adding like race creator at the end of the life cycle again, just like the Crew 2, but it will be really nice to see a race creator mode in the Crew Motorfest so people can make their own routes, and we can actually make our proper own routes to be used in like private lobbies or something if they adding private lobbies in the future, or it can be usable for like tournament, like time attack tournament, or maybe a proper, you know, tournament PvP or something if they adding a PvP mode in the future. It will be a really nice addition to have a race creator back in the Crew Motorfest. It has a lot of potential because, you know, there's a lot of good roads and dirt paths in the Crew Motorfest Hawaiian Island. Number 6, houses and headquarters. I know a lot of people really demanding to have the houses back in the Crew Motorfest and headquarters back in the Crew Motorfest, because the only time we can just like walking around with your own characters is in the car meet location. And in the car meet location, the only things we can do is just submit our cars in the custom show, rigging the custom show, or maybe buying vehicle vanities from your friends or other people. That's it. That's the most useful thing about this car meet. Other than that, I think it's really easy to navigate them from the menu, like the summits, the vehicle catalog, and other stuff. So yeah, like back in the Crew 2, we actually have a proper house, which we can just like customize our cars. We can look our beautiful cars with our beautiful customization, and also you can go to the HQ to buy your cars and go to the Summit Hub or the PvP Hub in each headquarters in the game, because there's 4 headquarters, which is Pro Racing, Street Racing, Freestyle, and I think Off-Road. That's the last one. So yeah, there is an accessible, walking area for your characters in the Crew 2, but in Motorfest it's only just one area only, which is the car meet. That is really sucks, I must say. But please, just bring back the house features, I love that. Or maybe another walking area in the Crew Motorfest. In number 7, even though this feature is really forgotten by a lot of people, but it's pretty obvious, which is the map environment. It's basically, in the Crew Motorfest, we're missing pedestrian and wildlife. I still don't get it why Ivory Tower didn't add any pedestrian and animals to the Crew Motorfest, because I know I love the Hawaiian map in the Crew Motorfest. It looks dense, detailed, and beautiful looking. But it lacks something, which is like, a pedestrian walking down the street in like a Honolulu or a small town. You cannot see anyone walking down the street in the Crew Motorfest. So the world is not really lively compared to like in the Crew 1 or the Crew 2, which when you go to New York, Los Angeles, Miami, you can always see like a pedestrian walking by the streets every time. And same also for the wild animals. Like, remember in the Crew 1 or maybe the Crew 2, like racing in the forest area or beach area or maybe mountaintop area, you will always encounter like a random animals passing by. For example, like a bear, or maybe like a deer, raccoon, or foxes. Yeah, we're missing that kind of stuff in the Crew Motorfest. And also what I like from the Crew 1 and the Crew 2, you can actually have like an Easter egg, a Bigfoot Easter egg in the map. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, in the Crew Motorfest, it's just missing those environment for the map, because it will make the map much more lively compared that we have in the Crew Motorfest currently. Or it may relate it to car licensing. I don't know, but probably we will piss someone off. Toyota? Wait, it doesn't actually make sense because Toyota is in Forza Horizon, and in Forza Horizon we actually have animals and pedestrian is in the side of the street. Well, sort of. Okay, for the last one, I think this is pretty much a bit forgotten by a lot of people. For those of you who play like the Crew 2, you know this, like assist for the car, like traction control, ABS, or maybe ESP, is different on each vehicle category. For example, in street racing, you can just like use traction control and then ESP, ABS, whatever you want, but it will be the same on every single car on street racing class. But if you go to the touring car class, you can basically turn off everything, but it doesn't affect the street racing class. So yeah, that's actually a really good features that not a lot of people forgotten. So basically, a driving assist is different on each vehicle category. Like each vehicle category can have a different physics or handling, so it does make sense in the Crew 2. However, in the Crew 2, the handling for the vehicles, especially cars, are really janky. Except the bikes, and the planes, and maybe the boats. Because bikes, planes, and boats in the Crew 2 actually handles nice compared to the cars. I know it's a bit forgotten, but maybe in the Crew Motorfest wasn't really necessary because of the vehicle and handling changes or something. So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see them back, like a different driving assist for each vehicle category. That would be really cool. Yes, because in the Crew 2, you basically adjust your driving assist on pro settings for your vehicle. However, in the Crew Motorfest, you adjust the assist on difficulty settings. So I think that's the difference between the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest. But it's pretty much not really necessary, but depending on the vehicle physics, I think it might do. So I guess this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this kind of content because, I don't know, I just really want to take a break from Gran Race in the Crew Motorfest, and I just tired with, Gran Race in the Crew Motorfest. Even though it's really fun to play with friends, but I don't know, I just don't have a feeling to upload another Gran Race related content in the Crew Motorfest. But I think this is basically a fun fact video for all of you who haven't played the Crew 1 or maybe the Crew 2. So you basically know that a lot of features is missing in the Crew Motorfest. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this kind of video, and I will try to make this one again, because I will try to cover the missing game modes, missing race events or something. Or maybe you can just suggest it in the comment section that the missing features in the Crew games that I haven't covered in this video, and I will crediting you in the description for the next video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or maybe share to your friends and families. And I hope I see you guys again in the next video, because the next video will be my huge project. Yeah, because I play the Crew game since the Crew 1, and I think it makes sense that I want to make this video for all of you, especially for all of you, the Crew community. But for now, see you next video. Take care and goodbye.